muscle is tight on you, you might have less lymphatic drainage happening from your brain, your head, and your face. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to fix it if this is you, and how to figure out, is this muscle affecting you? Now, what might you be experiencing if this muscle is tight? Well, you might have under eye bags or droopy eyelids. You might have a double chin. You might have sinus congestion. You might have postnasal drip. You might be suffering or dealing with headaches, migraines. You might have low energy, brain fog, problems sleeping. Those are just a couple of the symptoms. And this muscle is fantastic when we can get it to function properly. Unfortunately, most of us have very, very, very tight muscle. And before I tell you what it is, the problem with this muscle being tight is we have a lot of vessels and vasculature and nerves running right alongside it. So when the muscle's tight, it's going to not only hinder lymphatic drainage, but it's also going to hinder circulation. So our body's ability to bring oxygen-rich blood to areas beyond the muscle. And the vagus nerve runs alongside of it. And the vagus nerve is our rest, digest, and drain. It's part of our parasympathetic nervous system. So when this muscle is tight, it can ultimately affect how our body functions. So what muscle am I talking about? I am talking about the sternocleidomastoid muscle, the SCM. And this muscle we have runs from the base of our skull and comes down and attaches to our collarbones. So our collarbones have two attachments, and I'm going to show you guys how you can locate these muscles. But ultimately what happens is these muscles run right along the side of our neck where all of the lymphatic fluid drains down. So what we want to make sure we're doing is that these muscles are nice and loose, because if they're tight, it's going to hinder our lymphatic's ability to drain. And I see this happen all the time. Now, why are SCMs so tight? Well, SCMs are so tight because of what we do. We work at a computer, so we have these rounded shoulders, our shoulders come up, and when we do this, that muscle tightens. Everything comes up, so this muscle tightens. And when this muscle tightens, it ultimately stays in that shortened or tightened state because we're not used to relaxing. So let's talk about how do we find this muscle, and then what are some of the things that we can do to help relax this so that we can ensure that our head and neck has better drainage. Now, before we do this, I'm going to recommend that you pump your termini just to make sure that this space is clear, so that once this muscle is released and a lot more relaxed, that the fluid has the capability of draining. All right, so what we're going to do, the easiest way to find this muscle is we're going to turn our head to the opposite side, and then you can flex in. So put your hand on your forehead and push into your forehead. This is going to cause the muscle to poke out. So turn your head, put your hand on your forehead, the hand that you're turning towards, and then push your head into your hand. And this causes that muscle, like I said, to pop out. Now, starting at the top using a pincer grip, we're going to just move down the muscle and feel, if there's any tight, you can release that hand. You don't have to keep pushing. If there's any spots when you're like gripping, are there any spots that radiate? So pressure points are going to radiate up. So right here for me, pretty close to the top, I feel it radiating up into the back of my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold that there, and I might even add a little bit of up and down with the muscle. You don't have to have your hand on your head. I find that this just relaxes me more. You can 100% have your hand on your lap. This is just more comfortable. And once you feel that that intensity goes away, you're just going to move down and continue to see where you might have additional, okay, right here for me, additional pressure points. Okay, trigger points. So you're going to ultimately, when you find this pressure point or trigger point, you're going to hold it for anywhere between right around 30 seconds. Let's just aim for 30 seconds. Keep it simple. And then you're going to go down. And this muscle has the two insertions. So again, you can see it on me. You can see it come down here and then right here. This one is a little bit smaller. So you can feel and see, is there any tightness on either of those muscle insertion points? And for me, it's not. You're obviously going to do both sides. So even if you have more pain or discomfort on one side, I still recommend doing both sides to make sure that things are balanced out. But for time's sake for the video, I'm not going to do the other side. You guys absolutely do it. The next thing that we're going to do is we're ultimately going to do a little like fascial release from the area. And what I like to do with this one is it's going to be very similar to what we did. We're going to find that muscle, and what we're going to do is we're going to move down. Now I am bringing my head back just a little bit. So my ear is coming to my shoulder. My chin is coming up just slightly, and I'm holding my head. I'm not pushing, I'm just holding my head. And what I'm doing is I'm running my fingers along that SCM. Now, if your skin is really dry, you might want to add just a little bit of either lotion or oil. Castor oil is fantastic. I love it because of the ricinoleic properties. And now what I am doing is I am adding a little bit of pull. Not much, but you can see too that as I'm doing this, that area is getting a little bit red. We're bringing more blood flow to the area, and things are definitely relaxing. Can you see that my SCM is a whole lot less pronounced after doing those couple things? Because guess what? I've been working on the computer a whole ton. And even though I have the right setup, still working on a computer causes these muscles to be really tight. Or if you're on your phone, you know, hunched over, that kind of thing, it is going to cause the SCMs to be overactive. So that's the next thing that you're going to do. And you guys might find too, as you do this, the area is tender. Totally fine. Go at your own pace. It should not be super painful. If it is really painful, back off. It's too much. We ultimately want this muscle to relax. And actually, you might notice too that you're a little clearer after doing these two simple things. Let's do the third one. So what we're going to do for the third one is I'm going to take my opposite hand. I'm going to spread my index and thumb out, and I'm going to place my index finger along the upper part of my collarbone. So I'm sticking it right here, and I'm not doing anything with my thumb. I'm not pushing down. I do have pressure on my sternum. So I'm pushing here. I'm holding, like think about holding. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tilt our head to the side, bring our chin up, and we're going to rock our chin like you're drawing a line, a diagonal line. Now, when you feel a spot get tight, hold it for just a second and then come back up. And we're gonna do this for 30 seconds. So we're pinning the muscle down and then we're gently moving our head. Now, if you wanna take it to the next level, what you're gonna do is when you tilt your head and bring your chin up, you're gonna jet your chin forward, which is going to enhance that stretch, especially when you bring it towards your other shoulder. And then bring it in. I like to jet my chin out when I bring it down to the opposite shoulder. Now, you should already start to feel a whole lot looser, like your ears might be clearing. Now would be a good time to go and do your tonsillar node, because now that the muscle is looser, you can go in and influence this node a little bit easier. So we can clear that node. I'm getting all sorts of drainage happening. And then always go back to the termini, make sure that's nice and clear. Now, if your SCM is tight, there's one other muscle that's tight, so I'm gonna give you guys a bonus. It's your platysma muscle. So when you do like the snake muscle, like the cobra, right? This platysma also gets tight when the SCM is tight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something similar, except what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold below our collarbones now on both sides. I usually cross my thumbs. And what we're gonna do is we're going to tilt our chin, like our head up, our chin up, and then bring your tongue up. Try and touch your tongue to your nose. You might not be able to, I can't, but what that's gonna do is that's gonna massively help stretch out the platysma muscle. And we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds. Bring it down. How does that feel, guys? You might feel a whole ton of draining happening now. So if your SCM is tight, you got to loosen that up. Otherwise, what's going to happen is all of that fluid from here isn't going to have an easy access to drain down here. So we got to make sure that this is nice and loose. So doing this is going to help, but then too, working on posture, right? Posture is really important for drainage. When our posture is out of whack, it does put more stress on our lymphatic system's ability to drain. So make sure you do both sides and let me know how it goes in the comments. Let me know, how does it feel? Do you feel more drainage? It's one of the things that I love to do, and I personally see a ton of benefit from it because, again, I work at the computer, and so when I'm doing long hours, or even just like maybe I'm not working in my office and I'm just having to work on a computer, my posture is horrible. So this massively helps and keeps things loose and draining. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Happy draining.